Hey Peeps, Galucia here, and today we are continuing with our guide for the Gunner class. I'm a little bit jealous because, as many of you know, I'm a truck driver. I work hard throughout the day, so I can't play video games, computer games as much as I'd like to. All my friends are playing the Gunner classes and they're getting ahead of me, and it's like, hey, I'm making a guide for this. I really need to be doing this. Okay, so obviously I skipped ahead to level 18 for you so I could just kind of progress along. I did do some zone quests, but for the most part still just sticking to the story quests and moving along quickly. Rocket jump. Spin and fire at the ground, damaging nearby enemies and propelling yourself in whatever direction you are facing. Use during rolling reload for additional distance. Alright, so we're gonna give that a shot. Oh. Okay. Well, I don't need to kill this guy, but we're gonna test it out. Oh, it's on cooldown. Alright. Nice. So that gives us some serious distance. That was incredibly effective. That would be... Oh, I got more parcel posts? God, they keep... Tera is just giving stuff away. And I don't even know why half the time. It's just like, hey, they gave you mana potions. Like, oh, did they? That's nice of them. But yeah, so there's our new ability. And I'm happy to say that at level 18, for the most part, there's still not really a lot of strategy necessary. It still seems like we're a bit OP. And there's a number of strategies that work well. The initial one that I spoke about in the first video, combining the time bomb with the spread shot and the arc bomb, and that's still very effective. But you can also start it off still with the mana missiles. I'm finding that right now with the mobs that I'm fighting, that is giving me about half of their damage. Like half the damage that I need to kill them. Alright, so I'm going to demonstrate the arc missiles. You can see there, it almost killed both of them. And I wasn't even completely aiming at the guy to the left. I was actually trying to hit this guy more. And it just kind of hit whoever, whatever. So there you go. So the arc missiles are still very viable and definitely work. And then once you build up enough willpower, then the other thing that I like to do is, like, if I have a kill quest like I do right now, where I have to kill a certain amount of those guys. Whoops. But yeah, I'm finding that if I have a kill quest, the best thing to do is group up like a large amount of them, and as soon as you do that, then you can just click. You can just use the burst fire, also known as the chain gun, as I'm referring to it, or the Terminator Special would be another name for it. But yeah, that gets the job done. So you can get like 6, 8, it really doesn't matter, and then just let loose with that. So that's another effective strategy. But yeah, early on doesn't seem to be nearly as much strategy needed, so to speak, but it's still hella fun. Okay, so I just hit level 20. Absolutely nothing happens at level 19. Then at level 20, you get 2 upgrades for point blank and scatter shot. So those are both better now. I don't find myself really using point blank a lot, especially now that I got the rocket jump. I love the rocket jump. It's very effective for getting out of combat. So when you hit level 10, you get your first glyph points. You get 10 glyph points. And a lot of the ones that you would think to use, burst fire, insanely useful. Time bombs, insanely useful. The mana missiles are insanely useful. The arc bomb. Most of the glyphs are locked for those. So we're a little bit limited. Obviously, those have to get unlocked at a later date, and then we could talk about how we could expand on things. But for now, when you first hit level 20, you got those 10 glyphs, and I found the way to spend all 10 of them and to focus on 2 abilities. So the scatter shot and the blast, which I probably use the basic attack and the scatter shot more than anything else anyway. So for both of them, we're getting a 20% increase in skill damage. So basically just 20% more powerful. That's a pretty big boost. You can see for the scatter shot, it's a 99 base, and then we're adding almost 20 to that. And then for the basic attack, it's a base damage of 40. We're adding almost 8 for that. And then a reduction in MP cost by 50, so that's like a third. And for the blast, this is actually gaining us willpower now. So every time we land a basic attack, we gain 5 willpower. So that's a nice even rounded 10. And the glyphs are a big part of what I wanted to get into when it comes to the... What's this? I've got all my recording stuff set up and my cat couldn't get back up onto the bed. Oh, I'm sorry, Stella. You want to help me record a video? Alright, so it looks like when I hit level 20, I got a free day of elite status, which of course I already have elite status, but for those of you that are trying the game out for the first time, that's obviously insanely useful. So the glyphs is actually a big part of what I wanted to start getting into, so I'm glad that I've hit level 20. Because, again, when you get into the guides that are online, most of them are for end level type stuff, and they tell you all the glyphs that you need when you're end level. And they also assume that you have all the glyphs unlocked. So until we actually like level up at least to 60 anyway, maybe not max level 65, but at least to 60, and start, you know, doing all the things that we need to do with all of that, I'm going to assume that you don't have the glyphs unlocked, and we're going to look at, you know, what is the best possible glyphs that we can get for what we have available to us, and they're going to change. Like the 4 glyphs that I've selected right now are not necessarily the 4 glyphs that we're not going to keep those. Maybe 20 levels from now, all 4 of those will be changed to something else. I don't know. So, but it's possible, and that's the point, is that as you're leveling, you need to change your glyphs from time to time, and that's what was missing from the online guide. So I'm glad that we're finally into the glyphs. Okay, so I'm still level 20, as you can see. But I thought you would be interested in my first BAM fight. This is my first official BAM fight, equally leveled, and I'm just going to go for it and just kind of see how it works, basically. Yeah, I think this will be a good test of everything, because we're going to have to... It takes a minute to kill a BAM, obviously. You can see how much health they have. You can see how much we've pelted him already. And the fact that he still has tons of health. Let's do this so we can back up. Oh, stunned him right before the jump. That's nice. What the hell just hit me? Oh, he freaking lobbed a thing and I didn't even notice. Now, for certain classes, even the Basilisks, which, again, they're the very first BAMs that you face, so they're not that hard compared to some of the later BAMs that you're going to face up against. But for certain classes, I think especially like the Priest, where you don't have a lot of DPS, they can be very difficult. But you can see here we're utilizing a lot of really good dodging, stunning when possible, and he's not really getting a good chance to hit us with anything. And down he goes. So there you go. First BAM completed, and almost didn't touch us at all. I'm pretty sure this isn't all my loot. Nobody loots. Everybody just leaves it all on the ground. It adds up. It's crap that I can sell and do things with. So that worked really good. So now I've got my willpower maxed out. So now I'm kind of curious to see what happens if I completely empty out my burst fire with all my willpower done. How much do we take off of them? Oof. Well, 14%. That's not that bad. I think it's important to try to time your rolls to after you use a scatter shot. Like, and you want to roll like, okay, like right there, he was getting ready to do a big move. You can see there it's a stationary thing, so it's easy enough to get away from. You can either stun him to stop those, or you can do the roll, or, I mean, there's actually a lot of things you can do. You can do this. We have a lot of abilities available to us. But I think one thing that's important is to try to remember that your roll recharges your scatter shot, which, if you remember, we put our glyphs into to make it more effective. So if we can save the roll, basically trying to anticipate when he's going to do a move, so that we use the scatter shot, then he does the move, so we have to dodge it, so that we're not wasting the roll, basically. And I let him walk right into me. I should have jumped over that. Wow, that's the first time I ever got to use Retaliate, ever. I've never had to use it before. That's actually hilarious. Let's just finish him off. I literally just let him completely tramp me. Okay, Peeps, so I hit level 22, and I just wanted to go over that with you really quick. We are leveling up our replenishment, our arc bomb, which we use a lot of, burst fire, which we obviously love and is one of the funnest things ever added to this game, and then our next new ability, Arcane Barrage. So let's take a look at that really quick, see what we got going on with that. Boom. Fire an energy pulse that damages all enemies in a line up to 22 meters. That is a great distance. Press the skill button again to detonate the pulse, damaging and knocking down the enemies in a wide radius with a high chance to crit. Gain 20 willpower for each enemy hit by the pulse, and 100 willpower when it detonates. If used within 40 meters of a summoned HB construct, the HB fires 5 electric bombs and detonates the points. Okay, and that does not pertain to us yet, but that will later. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so it's just a little ball, and then we just have to detonate it when it's at the appropriate distance. Not bad. And then we got a little bit more in the glyph department. We've got 2 extra numbers now. So you'll notice that there's nothing that we can afford that's only 2. So, and this is what I'm talking about, people. You want to change them as you go, right? So I'm sure that there's plenty, though, that would be effective for 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this one off, where we gain willpower with our basic attack. So now we've got 4 available to us, which pretty much, you know, leaves us open to just about anything. And I would say the arc bomb would be the way to go then, now that we have 4, because we use the arc bomb quite regularly, increase the damage by 20%, especially in the lower levels, I would imagine overall, but at least from what I'm observing right now, I'm pretty much spending all of the glyphs on maximum DPS. We just want to create as much damage as humanly possible, and that's exactly what we're doing. So there you go. Already we're removing glyphs and adding more on. So that's what it all falls into. And somewhere right around level 21, I got my first weapon from the avatar weapons that you get from picking up the pieces. So you can see it's actually pretty wicked, sick, cool looking. And I immediately enchanted it to +9. Besides the fact that that greatly increases the attack and impact modifiers on it, making it a lot stronger, you also get the bonuses from the enchantments, which are pretty effective. And now that I have this weapon, I am killing stuff a lot faster than I previously was. I will quickly demonstrate by just shooting this guy with basic attacks. You can see I'm critting for 1100 there, and I just critted all 4 of those, and I killed him in 4 shots. So if you can remember back to a few minutes ago when we were fighting those guys, that's a lot more than it used to be. And I think, unfortunately, if I'm not mistaken, Oh, no, I'm still getting credit for that. Okay, good. Whew. I was worried that I was leveling too fast. I need to finish this Alliance quest. So, that's it for today. I would say that we did a good job getting from 16 to 22. Well, technically, I guess 18, but 16 from the last video. So 18 to 22 today. I'm like a helicopter. I will say that with my friends that are playing this game, as a quick tidbit before I leave, they're going into dungeons with like 3 or 4 gunners. My friend has a warrior, so he's tanking as a warrior, and it's just him and a bunch of gunners, and they're just ripping through dungeons, just insanely fast. So it's pretty impressive. The gunners are in pretty impressive class so far, and I am thoroughly enjoying them. Hopefully you're thoroughly enjoying watching them. Thanks again, everybody, and I will see you next time. Laters.